Affair as, again, the Hurricanes looking for a good start today. The offense has not been sharp of late. We'll talk about that during the broadcast. And the tip won by Alabama State as they go right down the lane, and it's stolen out of the chute by Jasmine Roberts. And Roberts up the floor, and it gets stripped. Jada Patrick had it, but goes out of bounds and will stay with the Hurricanes here for their first possession.
What an effort from Sanders. You know, had that turnover and was the first person back on defense. Jada Patrick didn't know that she was coming down, but that shows you the intensity that Jackson State has started with today. And that pass thrown into the backcourt, but recovered there by Roberts as she leads the Hurricanes with 11.2 points per game. And Lashae Dwyer has it between the circles for the Hurricanes here early on. Jada Patrick down low to Kyla Oldacare. Oldacare in the lane, makes a move, and her shot is blocked, but she recovers it, and a jump ball, and possession arrow will stay with the Hurricanes. Oldacare just having to be a little more patient, a little more strong, and to make sure that when people are as high as she is, have those counter moves to be able to finish underneath the rim. And the Hurricanes will inbound it here. Less than a minute into the first quarter in Coral Gables. And that shot does get off before the shot clock goes off. So the Hurricanes get the first two of the day. And they take an early 2-0 lead here. And Patrick credited with that basket there. The Hurricanes pressing in the backcourt. Absolutely. We're going to call her first quarter Patrick. The last game she had 11 points in the first quarter. She's averaging 9 in the first quarter. So we know that she can fill it up, and we know that she's always ready to go right away. And that's going to be an offensive foul in Alabama State, a moving screen there by Anaja Hall. And the ball will go back to Miami. And we talked about this, or at least I mentioned it a few moments ago, Tamara, that 57 points against Baylor, 59 against Jackson State. So they got to get the offense kind of going today. Yes, you know, the Hurricanes are such a talented group of individuals with a lot of depth. You know, sometimes you just can't tell who's going to show up and where that consistency is going to come from. Patrick misses a three there, and it's pulled down by Alabama State. The Hurricanes up 2-0 here, a minute and a half into the first quarter in Coral Gables. And Whitney Dunn has it, hands it off to Takaya Sanders. You can expect for the Hurricanes to play great, solid defense and put that pressure on Alabama State. That's what they do so well. Their defense is their offense. And 7 on the shot clock, and that one in the corner. Missed there by Ryan Tillis and rebounded by Miami and Jasmine Roberts. The Hurricanes taking it down, seeking their second basket. Three is put up there, no good by Day Wilson, but picked up by Oldacre. So she gets her first basket of the day and 4-0 Hurricanes. Well, Hall previously called for a moving screen. You could tell that she didn't want to play it too tight or risk anything to have 2 fouls in just 2.5 minutes. And that one taken there and missed, but picked back up and put in there by Anaja Hall. So Hall able to get the first 2 points of the day for Alabama State. And they cut the deficit down to 2. Oldacre can't handle it, goes out of bounds back to the Hornets. That's a good pass. Oldacre just has to catch that. And Anaja Hall's going to check out. Mariana Tavares comes in for Alabama State, her first action. Well, you can tell that's the goal for the Hurricanes, to get the ball inside, make them pay. And, you know, their efforts have paid off, and we have an early substitution right here from Hall. The ball knocked out of bounds there. Will stay with Alabama State. Nice play by Dwyer to knock it out of bounds, but Alabama State will retain possession. And that three-pointer is going to drop in. And Whitney Dunn knocks it down for Alabama State. And that ties things up here early on. Day Wilson, her shot goes off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound by Oldacre. Jump ball, second jump ball, is going to go back to Alabama State. That's the sweet spot for Day Wilson, that mid-range game or just a 3-ball. You know, she has definitely shown everything that is in her repertoire right now. She has a great catalog of offensive moves and very difficult to defend. Alabama State with that 1-point lead after the three-pointer there. And the Hornets get it back to Sanders between the circles. She goes right wing over to Carruthers. Carruthers drives to the elbow. 10 on the shot clock for Alabama State.
Inside there to Tavares, and a traveling violation called on Alabama State. Ball will go back to Miami.
3 early turnovers for Alabama State, all different fashions.
But Hurricanes, though, can't really take advantage. Still trailing 5-4 here at the 6.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, Hurricanes having a slow start offensively.
Roberts has it, drives to the basket, dumps off to Oldacre, can't handle it. Steal, ball goes back to Alabama State. Sanders takes it up for the Hornets. In transition all the way to the basket, and she loses it. Ball back to the Hurricanes, and the foul in the backcourt. And the ball will stay with the Hurricanes. That foul, foul on Tavares going back to Miami.
You see Spearman checking in for Oldacre. Doesn't seem like the focus is there. Can't really handle the ball, but Oldacre is very capable of catching those passes and finishing. She does well. She has solid minutes for the Hurricane when she comes into play.
Day Wilson takes it up for the Hurricanes. Still trailing 5-4 here. Roberts pulls up for a three. That one rims out, and the ball will go to Alabama State. Looks like a push-off underneath on Lashae Dwyer. So ball back to the Hornets. So a bit of an uneven start for the Hurricanes 4 minutes in as they trail 5-4.
Yeah, a really slow start for the Hurricanes. And, you know, that's what we've kind of seen a little bit, and that's what the Hurricanes are going to have to work on, the ability to get out and shoot out of that cannon and have a strong start.
A nice shot by Patrick there to get a hand on that, but the ball will stay with Alabama State. And we have a substitution here for the Hornets. As Christian Jackson checks in for Alabama State, and Whitney Dunn will take a seat. And the Hornets with a 5-4 lead here, 4 minutes in. The pass over the right corner. It goes back to Jackson. 10 on the shot clock for Alabama State. And the ball goes off the foot there of Shemaya Carruthers. Ball out of bounds back to Miami.
That was a wide open shot. She just thought about it, and then when you think about things don't tend to happen. If she would have just shot that open shot, because the Hurricanes aren't leaving too much open for Alabama State. So Alabama State's definitely going to have to take what the defense is giving them.
Ashley Gray checks in for the Hornets. And the Hurricanes still trailing 5-4 here in the first quarter, shooting just 25% through the first, nearly half of the first quarter. Day Wilson has it, looking for a screen there, but back up to Patrick, top of the key. She loses it, and a loose ball on the floor. Back out to Day Wilson. Over to Jalea Williams, who just checked in. Williams underneath to Roberts. She puts it up, and she'll go to the line for two.
Great awareness. Roberts had her sealed down there, and for Jalea, just be patient. Take that extra dribble, drag the defense just a little bit, so it'll be a wide open pass.
And the foul committed so far, 3 team fouls in Alabama State.
You know, Kevin, when you come into the game and you look at an 0-10 record from Alabama State, you think that it's not going to be a very competitive game. You think that, oh my gosh, this is going to be a blowout. Miami's going to have a 15-0 lead after a couple of minutes. But you think about the opponents that Alabama State has played. You know, they've played a pretty tough schedule with 5, you know, I think they've had 5 power teams that they've played against. You know, they've lost to, let's look at it. They've lost to Florida State. They just played Florida State a few days ago. But it's 4 other power schools.
DePaul, very strong team. Alabama, Auburn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So credit them that they're ready for this tough play.
Yeah. And Roberts hits the 2 free throws to give Miami back to 6-5 lead. We hit the 5-minute mark here of the first quarter. And Jackson takes it down the lane. She loses it. And the ball picked up there by the Canes. Jalea Williams has it in transition. Williams dumps off to Lamaya Hilton, who just checked in. Roberts, her 3 is short. Alabama State picks up the rebound. It's Ryan Tillis. And the Hornets with the ball trailing by 1, 6-5.
Now, Roberts, a 42% three-point shooter. She is their best three-point shooter on the Canes team. And so you don't think that she's going to be open the way she is. But I tell you what, Alabama State cannot afford to let Jasmine Roberts sit on that free throw line open like that and just have a shot at the basket.
And Miami 2 of 9 from the floor so far. Shot clock went out for Alabama State. That three-pointer is short by Jackson, and the Hurricanes get the rebound. Lazaria Spearman has it for Miami. 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Miami 6, Alabama State 5. Roberts double team there, and that ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Hurricanes. Now we're going to step aside. TV timeout under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hurricanes. Welcome back to Coral Gables. We have a scoring correction because the one shot Jada Patrick hit from the corner earlier was no good after review. Shot clock violation, so the Hurricanes trail 5-4 here in the first quarter as they have the ball. So 4 points through the first 6 minutes and a turnover right out of the chute. And Solangela Akers just checked in for Alabama State, gets the steal, and she brings it up for the Hornets.
Moving in the conference play, both teams are going to have to do a better job at taking care of the basketball.
10 on the shot clock for Alabama State. And that ball stripped away. Akers has it. 5 on the shot clock for Alabama State. Good defense by the Hurricanes here. Akers puts up the 3. No good, and it's picked up by Spearman as the Hurricanes will bring it back up the court with less than 3.5 to go here in the first quarter.
You know, Miami seems to be playing really slow. They're usually a very fast-paced team, but they're playing really slow. They're getting up the ball of the court really slow. They're getting into their offense very slowly. You know, you kind of wonder, does the holidays have anything to do with it? Are we still in the Christmas spirit here? Or have we said, you know what, Christmas on the 25th and we have to get back to work?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at today's game, noon tip-off, you have ACC play coming up this weekend. You see the record of Alabama State at 0-10. That, you know, it probably is a tough motivator for the Hurricanes. But again, this Alabama State team is going to be motivated because they want to start SWAC play with a win. So obviously you'll get their best effort. As 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter, Alabama State still holding on to this 5-4 lead. Hurricanes shooting 13%. Shot clock running down. Good defense here by Alabama State. 2 on the shot clock. Roberts to the basket. Her layup no good. Didn't hit anything, so it's going to be a shot clock violation. Hit the backboard, didn't hit the rim. So ball back to Alabama State.
Miami does a better job when they're in transition. They score a lot of their points out of transition play. And so Alabama is slowing Miami down, or Miami's just taking a long time to really get into things. It doesn't benefit Miami.
Yeah, they have not had the opportunities necessarily. Allie Steadman, she checks in for Miami, seeing her first action of the day with 2:50 here remaining in the first quarter. Hurricanes have 1 field goal so far because Roberts had the 2 free throws. So they're just trying to get any kind of basket, but the Hurricanes trying to trap Alabama State here.
The Hurricanes making it very difficult for Alabama State to score.
They are. The defensive side, they're doing very well. Both teams doing well on the defensive side. Just the offense hasn't really done anything either way. 5 on the shot clock for Alabama State. Sanders kicks it out. Right corner 3 is good.
That was textbook. Beautiful. Penetrate. Draw on the defense. Kick it out for an open shot.
Akers hits that 3. Gives Alabama State an 8-4 lead. Turnover Miami. Ball back to Alabama State.
Tell you what, Alabama State has come and punched Miami in the mouth really quickly, really fast.
Top 2 scorers not there for Alabama State, so this is big for them. Alabama State breaks the press. Sanders over to Akers. Now low to Hall. 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Sanders pulls up a 3. She knocks that one down.
Oh, you don't want to deal with momentum. Momentum is very difficult to stop. Now you have an Alabama State team that feels like they can play with Miami right now, and that's a tough thing to control when you come out slow if you're Miami.
Timeout Miami. Canes down 7. Couple 3-pointers by Alabama State. They have a 7-point lead over Miami. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter in Coral Gables. Canes with just 1 field goal so far. Also a couple free throws. Trying to get the offense somewhat on track here. Jalea Williams has it. Kicks it back out. Top of the circle. It's Latasha Lattimore. Lattimore gets it down low to Williams underneath. And there's Spearman with the layup. Just second field goal for Miami out of the timeout. So down 5 now. Miami trailing Alabama State.
Yeah, great job by Spearman to finish through contact.
Hurricanes pressing in the backcourt now. Sanders gets it over the timeline. Minute 20 to go here in the first quarter. Left baseline. That ball is lost there and stolen by Spearman. Stedman pulls up her 3. That one's long, but the rebound pulled down by Spearman. Hurricanes will start again here. Final minute coming up of the first quarter with the Canes down 5.
Second chance opportunities for the Hurricanes. They have to convert those into baskets. If you're Alabama State, you can't afford to give Miami these second chance opportunities. 5
on the shot clock for the Canes. Nice give and go there. Spearman, the layup, no good. Rebounded by Alabama State. Hall has it. Goes to Sanders. Actually to Akridge.
I don't even think Miami knew that the shot clock was winding down.
And they had the wide open layup too, just couldn't convert it. Half minutes ago here in the first quarter and a whistle. And the ball will be a side out for the Hornets. Spearman called for the foul there. Tillis and Severus checking back in for Alabama State. 11-6 lead for the Hornets. Will take it out underneath the basket. 20 on the shot clock. Sanders, right baseline. Kicks it out. Another 3. Alabama State's hit 3 threes so far in this first quarter. Akridge has a couple.
She's feeling it.
Yep. Alabama State, an 8-point lead. 4 of 7 from 3 for Alabama State. Canes 0 of 5. 6 seconds to go in the first. There's Lattimore for 3. Short. Rebound by Alabama State. Final second there. Sanders lost it.
No, at the end of the first quarter, Miami's going to have to take a beat. Just calm down, take a beat, and relax and understand and remember who they are.
1/10 of a second left, so this will be an inbound and be done. Can't get the shot off. First quarter in the books here in Coral Gables. Alabama State seeking their first win, an 8-point lead over Miami. Second quarter up ahead for Coral Gables. Down, trying to get their offense going. Miami 2 of 13 from the floor in the first quarter as we are underway here in the second quarter. And Spearman goes up. That shot is blocked, but she recovers it and she lays it in. So the Canes will take that one. First 2 points in the second quarter to trail 14-8.
You know, Alabama State ended the first quarter with 5 field goals made, 5 assists, and Miami ended it with 1 assist and shooting just 15% from the field goal. So very difficult to be in a game when you can't put the ball in the basket.
9 on the shot clock for Alabama State, and a foul there. Be 2 free throws coming up for the Hornets and Whitney Dunn. And that foul's on Day Wilson.
Yeah, just relentless. Just a relentless take to the basket. You know, Day Wilson playing good defense on her, but refusing to allow that to be the deterrent. And now we see she's rewarded with a pair of free throws.
And Whitney Dunn, the sophomore out of Chicago, averaging nearly 7 points a game, 85% free throw shooter. So far in the season, 12 of 14 coming into today. And the first free throw is good.
So it's safe to say Miami needs to keep Dunn off of the line.
And right now, Dunn is the current leading scorer for Alabama State at 7 points a game. Second free throw is up, and it is good.
5 of those points she has already, so she's already almost at her season average.
Christian Jackson checks back in for Alabama State. Hornets an 8-point lead over the Hurricanes here in the early going of the second quarter. Jalea Williams has it for Miami. Nice dump off there, and another easy layup for Spearman. So a couple baskets for Spearman, and the Hurricanes back down 6.
Spearman has given quality minutes. She's finishing well around the basket, and if you're Katie and you need your post play, that's exactly what you need. The guards are creating for easy opportunities for the post, and they have to be able to convert those.
And Takaya Sanders over right corner to Jackson. Jackson loses control of it, but gets it back out to Akridge. 3 on the shot clock for Alabama State, and a whistle, a travel. Turnover, Alabama State, ball back to Miami. Coach Tavares turned that one over. And this is where they got to just take advantage of the turnovers, Miami.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you look at things now, you need someone else to help with the ball. Day Wilson has 2 people covering her. Now you see Williams coming down to help out. I don't even know if you can really hand the ball off to each other, but maybe it happened really fast.
Yes. Canes down 6 here. Jada Patrick goes around a Spearman screen. Go back down to Spearman again, and she took a step. Almost went 3 straight possessions with the basket there for Spearman, but was not the case, so ball back to Alabama State.
Miami with the full court pressure. You should do so well.
And Sanders breaks it for Alabama State. 2 minutes in the books here in the second quarter, and Alabama State still up by 6. That one stolen away by Stedman. She gets a handle on it. There's Williams for 3, knocks it down. And that's what we were talking about before, Tamara. In transition, hitting those shots, and they finally got one of those.
That's where Miami is its best. And you don't see Williams take a lot of threes. And so when she's taking that 3, you know that she's confident that she can knock it down. And what about Stedman?
Yeah, good defense there.
Very quality minutes. Super, you don't really see Stedman.
Miami scored 6 points in the first quarter. They have 7 points in the first 2.5 minutes here of the second as they trail Alabama State 16-13. Kevin Rogers and Tamara James with you here on this Thursday afternoon. A nice job there by Miami. They forced the jump ball. They had it before, but the Alabama State had called a timeout. Possession arrow is going to stay with the Hornets, so the defense definitely stepping up for Miami here.
This is a defensive game. You look at 15 turnovers between both teams. Both teams making it very difficult to score. Outside of that one, that was just an easy lob, and she did a great job. Hall did a great job at keeping that ball up. But you see low-scoring game between the two because they're both buckling down and playing good defense against each other. Yeah,
Hall now 4 points as Alabama State back up by 5. Day Wilson kicks out to Patrick. 10 on the shot clock here for the Canes. Day Wilson out left corner to Williams. Williams takes to the basket. Nice passing there. Spearman couldn't handle that one. She's triple teamed. 3-second violation of Miami. So she got a handle on that one. Probably gets the layup, but couldn't. So turnover Miami.
A little oversharing for the Hurricanes. Someone's going to have to take that shot. And if they don't, the Hurricanes just find themselves deep into the shot clock, and they've passed up 2 or 3 opportunities to shoot the ball.
Hurricanes down 18-13 here in the second quarter. Seeking their 10th win. Alabama State 0-10, trying to find their first victory of the season, playing very well so far. Kai Sanders has it for Alabama State.
Well, they're holding strong to that lead. They know they can't let Miami get that momentum because once the Hurricanes get that momentum, it's going to be very difficult to keep up with them.
Well, it looks like a moving screen on Alabama State, and that's going to be on Ryan Tillis. So the one thing, too, Tamara, is that they're keeping Alabama State on the perimeter. They're not letting them get into the paint as much. That's the good thing what the Hurricanes are doing.
Absolutely. Outside of the lobs.
Right.
That's the only thing that they're kind of giving them, and then you have to make sure if you're Miami that you have someone in help. But Miami's doing a great job defensively, and we have to also give credit to Alabama State.
They're hitting the threes,
and they're keeping Miami in a half-court set. And Miami is not. They're not as successful in the half-court set as they are in the open court pushing the ball.
Yeah, and travel on Miami, the ball back to Alabama State. You said that at the beginning of the game, that this team thrives when you have a change of possession, you're moving like half court. They've had a lot of issues today, and they're making Alabama State shoot the ball, and Alabama State's hitting their threes. That's the key. The Miami's playing good defense, but Alabama State is making them pay by hitting those shots.
Well, it's like that sometimes. You game plan because you look at the numbers on the paper, but at any given day, it could be someone else's day.
5.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Tillis has it knocked away. Really good defense here by Stedman. Since she's come into the game, unfortunately, the Canes could not keep it. Good job by Dave Wilson, just couldn't grab it. And ball back to Alabama State.
What about Allie Stedman? I am going to say her name again. She's not really known for her defense, but she is here to change that narrative. She's in all of the right places at the right time, forced Alabama State to put up a desperation shot, and the Miami Hurricanes are here in transition.
And that there, Dave Wilson kind of got caught there in the air, and she throws it over the head of Patrick. Ball back to Alabama State as Graham checks in for the Hornets.
Miami trying to find a unit that is consistent and that will give them good quality possessions, good quality shots, and that can put that defense on Alabama State because that's what they're known to do.
They've held Alabama State to 4 points here halfway through the second quarter. Like, they've done a good job from that perspective. It's just they can't cash it on the other end. Sanders has it over to Gray. Yeah. Hall, layup is good. So Hall now with 6 points, and Alabama State back up by 7.
With a little yell, just giving her that confidence. Miami's going to have to play much more aggressive on the post on the inside because they're coming at them.
Yeah, we haven't seen Oldacre here or Oldacre here in a bit for Miami. We haven't seen her since early on.
Yeah, when she wasn't really focused on that, she was having a hard time handling the basketball. And as you can see, 7-point game here. Miami doesn't have time for people who really aren't focused at that time, so she'll get another opportunity.
And that rebound pulled down by Williams. And the Hurricanes in transition here. Dave Wilson takes it to the basket. No foul call there. Lattimore lays in. You would have thought it would have been either a block or a charge, but they just let him play on. And the basket there for the Canes, yeah.
I'm okay with that. Some of the flopping is just has become too much for me.
Right.
And so I'm glad that they're trying to eliminate that.
And a backcourt violation on Alabama State.
And Sanders is screaming for a sub. She's definitely leaving it all out there on the court. Have a much-needed break. And
there's Oldacre back in the game. We just talked about her. Now she's back in. So we'll see what she does here on this possession. The Canes down 5, 20-15. 4 minutes to go in the second quarter here from Coral Gables. Final non-conference game for Miami. Williams takes the baseline. Nice move there, and the basket no good, but she'll go to the line for 2.
Nice, strong move to the basket. That'll give Miami their 3rd and 4th free throw of the game. You can tell how aggressive a team is being when you look at how many times they've been to the free throw line. They only had those 2 free throws at the beginning of the game, and now we see with 4 minutes to go, with a little under 4 minutes to go, back at the line again.
And also, too, there's been some just layups, or they've had opportunities in the lane, and they just haven't been able to convert. So they've gotten to the basket. It's just about some of the layups, and they've had some turnovers underneath. As the Hurricanes going for their 3rd and 4th points from the line.
And it's just focus.
Yeah.
When you get that, and when you talk about free throws, when you talk about how close you are to the basket, it's just focus.
First free throw there missed by Jalea Williams. 8 of 11 going into today from the free throw line. Second free throw is up, and she makes it. So the Canes now down 4. Lamaya Hilton back in the game for Miami. Williams will take a seat. Yeah, the Hurricanes pressing.
They don't drop off when they sub. They have depth. And as you see, they're still fighting. Little Christmas drama. Little holiday drama.
You know what we've seen so far today? There it is right in front of us. We've seen a lot of, 4 or 5 jump balls already today.
Both teams hungry.
Yeah.
Both teams hungry. Miami has no choice but to be hungry right now as they're down 4. And Alabama State, they're 0-10. You have to come into this game saying, this is going to be my day.
She's got to step out. There's some. Yeah, Dwyer's got to take a seat. She's got some blood on her jersey, looks like.
You know, playing basketball here at the University of Miami gave me a life hack of how to get blood out of fabric, and it's peroxide. Who knew?
Really?
Spray peroxide on the sideline, and that's going to be good as new, that uniform.
Huh. Interesting. See, I learned something today, right?
A little life hack. Now everyone's checking to see who's bleeding.
Right. You don't need those Tide pens. You just get peroxide.
Yep. Spread down, and it literally disappears before your eyes.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I didn't learn that in chemistry.
Hurricanes will take it out here, down 4. Under 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Day Wilson has it for Miami. Over to Hilton. Hilton, a few dribbles, looking for Oldacre down low. Back to Dwyer. 3-second violation. Ball back to Alabama State.
You know what I've noticed? The shots that Miami typically would take, because maybe they're looking for a more quality shot or a shot deeper into the shot clock, they're kind of passing up those first and second opportunities that they usually would take. Hilton was wide open, in my opinion, for shots that I'm used to her taking, right there on the wing.
Nice move there by Dwyer.
And
again, a transition basket for the Hurricanes gets them down 2, 20-18.
Absolutely, but that shot Hilton would have taken, but she didn't take it. She passed it up, and then we got a turnover.
Nice job by Oldacre there to get in front of Hall for the steal. Hurricanes trying to tie things up or take the lead on this possession. Three-pointer by Dwyer is up and no good. Oldacre the rebound. She'll go to the line for 2.
Oldacre made them pay for not boxing out.
So now she'll go to the line for her first 2 free throws of the day. She's had her problems at the line, 9 of 20 this year. But can get the Canes to tie things up at 20 if she can make a pair.
Miami trying to tie this up, and Alabama State trying to go into the half with a lead.
The Hurricanes have outscored the Hornets 12-6 so far in this quarter. And it was 14-6 Alabama State at the end of the first quarter. So it's not pretty, but at the same time, they've held Alabama State in check. And that's the one thing that you could definitely say for Katie Meyer's team that they have done so far. Oldacre knocks down the first one.
Yeah, when you think about all the things they have to fight, a change of game time.
Yep.
You know, the bowl game going on right after this game is up for the University of Miami football.
Travel.
Yeah, and then you look at the weather outside, and you look at the holidays, and you got to shake them up and say, listen, it's time to play. The world doesn't stop.
It is. Students not here because of break. Yeah, there's just, I feel like every factor, and it's not an excuse, I feel like every factor is like against Miami here in the scenario, but they're only down 1, 20-19, so a long way to go here in the game. Sanders has it for Alabama State.
Yeah, so if I'm Katie Meyer, I mean, of course I don't want an ugly win, but I prefer an ugly win than a loss.
Yes, yeah, you take it. You take it and move on. Day Wilson has it for the Hurricanes. Over to Hilton, her 3, short, tipped up, and it goes in. Nice shot there by Dwyer. That'll work.
Dwyer said she's a big man.
She got the tip in, and the Hurricanes back in front, 21-20. Timeout Alabama State. Got to take it how you can get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Rebounding is all effort. It's all effort. Around the basket, it's all effort. And so you're excited. You know, the fans are up. The fans are talking. The bench is up because this is what you want, you know, if you're Miami.
First lead since 7.5 minutes to go in the first. It's been a while.
Very low-scoring game. A lot of defense. But if Miami can get their transition and easy buckets down, we'll see a great difference in this game.
And also, too, if the Hurricanes can just find a way to lead at the end of 2 quarters, you know, you say with everything that's happened, whatever, we move on. Even if you're down 1 or 2, but they've gotten themselves out of that funk where they're down 6 or 8 points.
Yeah,
so
that first quarter really was difficult for Miami to come and dig their way out of it. And now we have a 1-point game. 21-20
lead for the Hurricanes. A little over 2 minutes to go here before halftime in Coral Gables. Tillis has it for the Hornets. They hand it to Sanders, and that one's going to go the other way. Offensive foul, the moving screen on Tillis. Nice job there by Dwyer to get in the way. So Dwyer, she's got in the way of a couple of things, getting that rebound and tipping, and they're taking that foul.
Yeah, and you look at Tillis, she's a little confused because it was just a dribble handout for her. But way to sell it from Dwyer. The more aggressive you are, the more chances you get for the ref to call things your way.
8 second quarter turnovers for Alabama State. Day Wilson stops, pulls up, rims out, and the rebound goes to Hilton.
Day Wilson having a hard time getting herself going.
See what the Hurricanes do here, trying to build on this 1-point lead. Dwyer drops off to Oldacre. Layup is good. So she, in the last few minutes, now she's stepping up here in her last few minutes.
Well, as a player, if I'm not ready, next man up.
Yeah.
If next man up is playing well, it limits my opportunities. And so, great job by Oldacre resetting herself and being ready when she got back out here.
Hall tries to go around Oldacre. That layup is good.
I don't know. She took a few more steps than I thought was legal.
Extra step there. Ball stripped away by Sanders. Alabama State goes in transition.
NBA steps, I like to say.
Rebound there by Day Wilson. Her layup is up and good. Nice job at left hand.
She said, if it isn't going mid-range or at the three, I'm going to get to the basket.
3-point lead for Miami here in the final minute before the half. Dunn has it. Spins. Shot is no good. Oldacre the rebound. Hurricanes have it. There you go in transition. Hilton with the layup.
Transition so
all of a sudden now a 5-point lead. A couple layups for the Hurricanes.
Well, and I think Alabama State will probably try to hold it for the last shot. Give themselves the time to go in halftime and regroup to see what they did well to give them success against Miami and capitalize and continue to build on that.
So the Hurricanes now up 5 here in the final seconds of the opening half. Gray all the way to the basket. Ball is knocked away. 8 seconds. Hurricanes one more shot here. Roberts to the basket. Her layup is good. All of a sudden now a 7-point lead for Miami going into halftime. So Miami 6 points in the first quarter. Field goal so far, but the Hurricanes still in front. As we flip sides, Alabama State going towards their bench here in the second half as the third quarter underway. And that ball knocked away by Hilton into the backboard, recovered by Takaya Sanders for Alabama State.
Yeah, if you're Miami, you have to force Alabama State to take desperation shots.
And that three-pointer is short. There's that one there, but the rebound coming down to Alabama State and taking in no foul call. That was Carruthers going in with the rebound to Oldacre. The ball knocked away, stolen by Sanders, back to Alabama State. Sanders in transition for the Hornets. She pulls up left elbow. Her jumper's good.
Sanders called her own number with that. Miami's going to have to stop the ball. No one stopped the ball from the time there was a turnover under the basket to the opposite side of the free throw line. 5
points for Sanders as the Hornets down 5 here. That short jumper is good by Roberts, her first field goal of the day. Now 4 points for her. And Miami back in front by 7.
She must have heard you, Kevin.
Right, exactly. Got to get in the scoring column. Got to get back to the 11 points a game. Sanders has it now right by half court for Alabama State.
And Miami in a man-to-man defense. So they are going to force Alabama State to do something.
That three-pointer is short by Whitney Dunn. Hurricanes pull down the rebound as they go the other way, trying to create some more offense here, trying to build in the 7-point lead. Hilton, her three is up. Hits the front of the iron, no good, but picked up there by Dwyer. Dwyer, her jumper is up, and it's good. So Hurricanes offense starting to come together now. The largest lead of the afternoon, up by 9. 11 offensive rebounds so far for the Canes.
Well, the Hurricanes are out-rebounding Alabama State by more than 10 rebounds. And so when you look at, 11 offensive rebounds to 1, you look at the difference of the score, and that's what it makes.
Yeah, a lot of extra opportunities that you have. Hall has it for Alabama State. Pulls up for that jumper. Short, and the rebound picked up there by Tillis. Goes off the back of the iron. Loose ball on the floor, another jump ball. This time it's going to go back to Miami.
And if you're Hall, you have to have just a little bit more patience. You know that typically isn't your shot. they kind of willed her into taking that shot because she was so wide open. But she's going to have to wait for her other teammates to get open and do something with it because it's not a high percentage shot for Hall or for ASU.
It was 4 or 5 for her going into 8 points, and she was getting all those shots inside the lane, but decided to pull up there, and it was no good. Ball back to the Hurricanes. 2.5 minutes into the third. A 9-point lead for Miami, up 33-24. And it's going to stay with the Hurricanes. Latasha Hall called for that foul. And it'll stay with Miami underneath the basket.
Oldacre just fighting for position. And Hall didn't really fight to get in front of her, just was kind of push her out the lane a little bit and kind of got choked up around her chest area.
Zay Wilson inbounds it in, but gets knocked away. It's going to stay with Miami. A deflection there by Graham to keep it Miami ball.
Zay Wilson struggling just a bit.
Now it's going to stay with the Hurricanes again. One on Dunn. It's going to stay with the Hurricanes again. They'll get it underneath the basket. So a couple inbounds here for Miami.
You know, it used to be you didn't see a lot of when you're chasing the screen, the person that's screening falls over. Used to be like really hard screens and solid screens so that, you know, their man is more open.
Zay Wilson hands it off to Williams. She goes and takes the basket. Her layup no good. Oldacre went up for the rebound. And a foul there. Let's see if it's going to be a shooting foul. It's going to stay on the floor.
Fighting for those rebounds, giving Miami additional opportunities. Strong move to the basket for Williams. But just the effort to go and pursue the ball gives Oldacre a reward at the free throw line.
Oldacre 1 of 2 from the line early on, now 2 of 3. So she gives the Hurricanes their first double-digit lead of the day, up 34-24. And she knocks down a pair of free throws, so she struggled from the line coming into today, 9 of 20, but 3 of 4 on the afternoon, an 11-point lead now for the Hurricanes.
And as you see now, Miami with that full court pressure, trying to force another 10-second call. And I'm not sure if Dunn knows that she needs to get across, just narrowly escape.
And Dunn loses it. It's going to stay with Alabama State. Ten points scored by Alabama State in the last, now 13 minutes. So that's a solid job there by Miami defensively. Sanders is going to inbound the ball for Alabama State. And when knocked back into Sanders' hands, she went to Tavares. Back down to Tavares again. And that shot is no good. And the rebound taken down by Miami and Zay Wilson. Roberts pulls up. Her 3 is good. Her first three-pointer of the day.
Well, you know, you can't continue to leave her open. You know, she's shooting more than 40% at the three-point line. And, you know, she missed 2 early on into the game. Like I told you, you can't leave good shooters open.
And all of a sudden now, Roberts with 7 points on the afternoon. And the Hurricanes building this lead up to 14. Akridge out to Graham. Graham spin move baseline. Layup is up, no good. Rebound picked up in transition by Roberts. She drops off to Dwyer for the layup.
Miami's out, up and running, doing what they do best. Player, when you look at what she's able to give the Hurricanes, I mean, she's not just offensively, defensively, she's tied for the best percentages when it comes down to three-point percentages, and so they look for that leadership.
And a foul there. A reach-in on Jalea Williams. Alabama State's going to inbound it here right in front of us. Solange Akridge. Take it out. 6 points for her so far on the afternoon. That one goes into the backcourt, and Sanders will take it up for the Hornets. 34-10, Miami's outscored Alabama State since trailing by 8 after the first quarter. Hall, her jumper in the lane is good.
Hall has been the constant for Alabama State.
Latasha Hall with 10 points to lead the Hornets. They're down 14 now, nearing the halfway point of the third quarter. Three-pointer is up, and it's good by Lashae Dwyer, averaging 7 points a game. So far in the season has 11. So far they have bumped that average up, and the Canes pulling ahead now by 11.
You know, when you play good and you play solid defensively, everything seems to go right when you're on offense.
Sanders with the ball for Alabama State. Gets it down to Hall, and Hall gets a strip from behind by Roberts. Day Wilson pulls up. Her jumper is good.
There she goes.
Cheyenne Day Wilson with the 2 there. She has 4 in the afternoon, and all of a sudden now, 45-26 lead for Miami.
You know, sometimes as a shooter, you just have to see it go in the net.
So Hurricanes opening this thing up. The offense finally getting going.
And you can see a different energy on defense when you come down to looking at things.
Williams goes in, easy layup for 2. And now it feels like since they've been able to create some offense through their defense, just like that, another layup for Dwyer, that all of a sudden this thing has opened up here for Miami, a 23-point lead over. They call basketball a game of runs, but for Miami, it's a lot of their runs. 9-0 the last minute and change, 20-2 in the last 5 minutes. Also, since going 2 of 13 from the floor in the first quarter, 18 of 24 from the floor in the last quarter and a half. So the offense has gotten hot, just to say.
Absolutely, and you know, they're doing a great job defensively against Alabama State. You know, Miami ranks first in the ACC in scoring defense, just holding their teams to 55 points per game. And as we see right now, deep into the third quarter, Alabama State with only 26 points.
Akridge all the way to the basket, misses the layup. She cut through the defense, just couldn't finish. And the Hurricanes take it back as Roberts has it, hands off to Day Wilson. Roberts goes right baseline. There to Spearman. Shot is no good, but she'll go to the line for 2.
Uh-oh. Coach isn't happy about that call.
Let's see it.
That's a 50-50 call.
Yeah.
It could go either way, depending on where you are on the court as an official and what angle you see.
So Spearman with 6 points so far on the afternoon. 10 of 24 from the free throw line this season, now 10 of 25. And Katie Meyer's team, after struggling early on, they've gotten it back on track. Second free throw good, 24-point lead now for the Hurricanes.
And the Hurricanes over 20 points in just the third quarter. We saw how they struggled in the first quarter with only 6 points. But when Miami plays Miami's defense, you're going to see many more scoring opportunities.
And that ball thrown out of bounds. A little bit of miscommunication with Alabama State. Ball go back to Miami. Also, the one graphic before, Alabama State, 2 free throws so far today. So they have not been able to get to the line of the ball back to the Hurricanes. They'll take it out underneath the basket. Day Wilson has it for Miami. That ball's knocked away there by Sanders, and it's back to the Hornets.
Much needed steal by Alabama State, trying to capitalize a little bit, just get their offense going.
Whitney Dunn has it for the Hornets. Hands back off to Sanders. 10 on the shot clock for Alabama State. Stedman picks up Sanders. Down low to Hall. She's got nowhere to go. Throws it towards the Alabama State bench, but a foul on Day Wilson. So Alabama State gets bailed out there at the end of the shot clock, and they will have it once again underneath the basket.
Just a little bump at the end. Day Wilson trying to shield that Alabama State player from getting that rebound.
So 20 in the shot clock now for the Hornets. Hilton will check back in for Miami. Jay Wilson will take a seat.
You can just see the frustration on Jay Wilson these past couple of games. It's kind of been a struggle for her trying to find her way back to where she was and how she was contributing and finding her way into that starting lineup for the Hurricanes.
April Hooks has it for Alabama State. Under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter with the Canes up comfortably by 24, 50 to 26. Hall has it at the three-point line. We're thrown away. Shot clock winding down 2. We got to put it up. That one rolls out. And the rebound goes to Spearman, and the Hurricanes will take it the other way. Alabama State still stuck on 26, 12 points since the first quarter for the Hornets. Patrick, that one looked like a flat tire as the ball just hit off a shoe, goes out of bounds, go back to Alabama State.
Looks like there were a little confusion of what offense they were running. It looks like a few of the players were running one offense, and then the other couple of players were running a different offense, and results in a turnover.
And the ball back to the Hornets here. Final 2.5 minutes of the third quarter. Spearman will give Hall that shot all day. Right, just back off.
I think she kind of learned from the first shot. She doesn't want to take that shot. They need some quality shots. They need some quick buckets.
Yeah, and that one on the floor. Another jump ball, and it will stay with Alabama State.
Both teams sacrificing their bodies. Getting on the floor for those 50-50 balls. You love to see it.
We've seen a good number of jump balls so far today. And Alabama State will retain possession here with 2:06 to go in the third quarter. Three-pointer hoisted up there by Hooks. No good. Rebounded by Hilton.
You know, Miami did a great job in the second quarter and even this quarter with limiting the three-pointers because Alabama State was shooting 57% in the first quarter. And since then, it's kind of come down.
Spearman, fall-away jumper's good.
I like it. I call it the lost art of post play. You don't really see back to the basket, give me the ball, I'm going to ISO you and just go to work. You don't see that too often nowadays in basketball.
And Spearman commits the foul there on the other end, and Alabama State will take it out underneath the basket. So Spearman with 9 points so far in the day. Hall will take a seat with 10 points for Alabama State.
Spearman having a good quality game.
You're seeing a lot of the scoring spread out for the Hurricanes today. And that one blocked. Nice job there by Patrick. Blocked out of bounds. Hornets will keep it with 11 on the shot clock.
Everyone on the Miami team, except for 2 players, has recorded points, whereas only 4 on Alabama State has recorded points.
6 in the shot clock here for Sanders. Good defense there by the Hurricanes, causing another turnover. Patrick has it in transition for the Canes. Patrick all the way to the basket. She's fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
You know, it only took them 4 seconds to get down from the time they had the ball to when they went to the basket. 4 seconds.
I don't even know if in the first quarter how many turnovers, because Alabama State's had a bunch of turnovers today, but where Miami even had those opportunities in the first quarter, I feel like that's where they had their struggles offensively because they just couldn't do that with the 6 points, and 4 of those coming from you only had 2 from the free throw line and 4 on field goals.
Well, they had the opportunities. They just didn't capitalize. If you go back to the first quarter, I think they were like 4 for 13.
Yeah. The 2 of 13.
2 of 13, yeah. Shooting 15%. And so, you know, now it's like a volleyball game.
Yeah. That one knocked away. Alabama State recovers it. And a backcourt called. And her momentum was actually great. Her momentum took her into the backcourt. That's always kind of a tough play, but ball back to Miami. Final minute here of the third quarter with the Hurricanes up by 27.
4 blocks, making it extremely difficult for Alabama State to get any type of continuity, any type of rhythm offensively.
Steadman has it for the Hurricanes, and a whistle there. That one's on Jackson.
They'll go to the line. Allie will get on the board one way or another.
They're checking the team fouls to see. Obviously, it was a non-shooting foul.
Yeah. Eric, the official, looking at the wrong team. He's still in a holiday spirit. You know, that official has been officiating since I was in college.
Eric Bruton, Adrian Gilmore, Kiara
20 years ago.
Our officials today. Still doing it, right?
Yeah.
One thing about officiating, you can officiate it for as long as you want. You don't have an ending like players, you know?
When it's something that you love, you don't consider it work.
Right. 29-point lead for the Hurricanes here. 35 seconds to go in the third quarter. Sanders.
Defense not
over to
letting
Dunn.
up.
7 seconds on the shot clock for Alabama State. Good defense there by Steadman. 2 on the shot clock. Shot clock violation. Nice job there by Steadman and the Hurricanes defense. So we'll see if the Hurricanes can take a 30-point lead here going into the fourth quarter.
Well, it looks like the rest of what the second quarter and what the third quarter has been. Miami just a little too much for Alabama State. Miss.
Well, luckily nothing spilled, so we're okay.
Williams just wanting to give us a little high five over here.
Right.
At the table.
Ball back to Alabama State.
I'm assuming Miami will be in man-to-man defense. If there are any screens, they'll probably switch it. They have a unit out there that everyone can guard anyone.
That three-pointer rims out there by Gray. Loose ball, 7 seconds to go here in the third quarter. All the way to the basket. Jalea Williams.
I call her a Ferrari.
Final 2 of the quarter to go up by 31. So the Hurricanes, who had some struggles early, now in cruise control. Jalea Williams finishes off the third, a 57-26 lead going to the fourth for the Canes. It was all Miami in the third quarter. Hurricanes outscored Alabama State 28-4. And currently on a 28-2 run as they lead by 31, 57-26 here, starting the fourth quarter in Coral Gables.
All credit to Miami forcing Alabama State to just 12.5% from the field in the third quarter.
Lattimore knocks down that 3, so a 60-26 lead for the Hurricanes. Only 2 free throw attempts for Alabama State today, and they started 4 of 7 from 3 in the first quarter. And since then, Alabama State 0 of 7 from downtown, 0 of 8 from downtown now. And the rebound taken down by Patrick.
When you look at this lineup for Miami, you see everyone can score from every level when they're out there, regardless if they're playing post or they're playing guard. So this makes it extremely difficult when you have big post players on the opposing team. You can stretch your offense.
Alyssa Green-White checks in for Alabama State, seeing her first action of the day. Dwyer has it for the Hurricanes, and back to the line for the Canes. It's Lattimore. Just hit that 3.
And Miami just running away with things right now. I think they have completely overwhelmed Alabama State, not allowing them to get to their sweet spots. Alabama State's no longer hitting three-pointers as what has helped keep them in this game. And everything that they were doing that made them competitive with Miami, they're no longer doing.
Yeah, that first quarter, I mean, you got to give Alabama State a lot of credit in that first quarter, hold Miami to 6 points. And 2 of 13 shooting for the Hurricanes there. They're 21 of 27 since the first quarter, the Hurricanes from the field. Second free throw is good by Lattimore.
Yeah, Miami with that uncharacteristic 6 points in an entire quarter. When we see how talented this Miami team is on paper and what they're able to do, you know that they were going to find a way to bounce back.
Yeah, they did so, and just by getting some steals, moving the ball up the court, and just did a fantastic job as they're completely in control here a minute into the fourth quarter. Sanders drops it off there to Green-White, but it's knocked away. It's going to stay with Alabama State, even though it looked like it's knocked out of bounds by Alabama State.
Active hands by Miami. Yeah. See, they're not happy with that call.
And the Hornets will take it out underneath the basket. Open three there. No good off the front of the iron by Dunn. And the Hurricanes, again in transition, dropped off and lost out of bounds there as Lattimore couldn't hold on to that one. So ball back to Alabama State.
Miami has to come up 3-on-1. You come up with a conversion.
Sure, Coach Meyer will highlight that when they look back at the video.
Well, overall, they've done a pretty decent job, a good job in their transition when they're able to get out and run. They've converted on many of those opportunities. It's just things that you learn, who you're playing for, what kind of pass you can give them, and who can handle.
Sanders a three. She knocks it down. So for the first time since the first quarter, Alabama State hits a three. And now the Hornets trail 61-29.
Alabama State needs a whole lot more of that.
Roberts misses, but the layup is good there by Spearman. Spearman's played well so far today. The Hurricanes back a hefty lead. Spearman with 11 so far in the day. It's a long two there for Green-White as she knocks it down.
Alabama State coming up with a pair of shots. You know, we haven't seen that type of consecutive scoring for them in a very long time.
Already 5 points here in the quarter. They had 4 alone in the third. All the way to the basket is Lattimore. There's some contact there. She fights through it for the layup.
I don't even know how she made that.
Miami up by 34. Green-White. She misses that one. Rebound to Roberts. But ball is knocked out of bounds by Alabama State. Back to Miami.
Miami with 10 steals.
And Miami will take it out. The turnovers, the steals.
The block shots.
Yeah, it's been just a very complete effort the last 2 quarters compared to the first quarter.
You know, the game of basketball comes with that, and have to be able to just not get stuck there. And so Katie Meyer has to be proud of her team of not necessarily how they started, but how they got punched and they got back up, and they're winning the rest of these rounds in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, you see a couple things. You see, again, how long these games are, that you can have a bad stretch for a while. They had a bad 10-minute stretch. I think Coach Meyer will admit that. But then after that, okay, you reset yourself. You crept back. You took the lead. Roberts with the layup there. And we talked about, go up by 1 at the half. And all of a sudden, they outscore Alabama State by 15 to go up a little more comfortably into halftime where you're feeling, okay, now we got some breathing room here. Now we just got to build the lead.
Absolutely.
36-point lead for the Hurricanes. Nearing the 6.5-minute mark. Good deflection there by Lattimore. Knocked into the backcourt. Bodies on the floor.
And Miami's playing like Miami's down.
Yeah,
and that's the type of effort that you want for all 40 minutes of the game. You need them to play like you're down, play like every possession is important. Look at Patrick and how she's sprinting for the ball. Every possession is crucial, and we're not looking at what we're looking at ASU. We're looking at who they're going to play in conference play.
Louisville coming up on Sunday, coming here to Coral Gables at Boston College. Wake Forest, the first 3 for Miami in ACC play. We know it's going to be a dogfight every single game when they hit conference play. And Miami just 1 loss so far in the season. That came to Baylor, who was a top 15 team in the country. Stolen by Dwyer. Numbers here for the Canes. Nice pass off there to Patrick, but it's going to be called an offensive foul there.
That's a little strange. I would think that You would need to allow.
Give it a little more room.
Patrick,
yeah.
you have to give the player a chance to come down.
Yeah. And Sanders there takes that charge for Alabama State. Yeah, if there's about another step there, I would see that. It felt a little tight for an offensive foul. Ball back to Alabama State. Green-white pulls up. Her jumper no good. Ball back to Miami, and the Hurricanes will retain possession. Sanders called for the foul. Reached the 6-minute mark here of the fourth quarter. And Miami up 67-31.
Miami started the season ranked 6th in the ACC. They've moved up in standings in the ACC, and now they are 3rd.
Yeah, they've done a nice job, and now it gets started coming up on Sunday. Hosting the Louisville Cardinals here at Watsco Center, the game of the ACC Network. Nice job, nice pass underneath. Spearman, though, couldn't convert. Spearman again, she'll go to the line for 2.
Excuse me, Miami's 4th now in the ACC, and you just can tell how competitive the ACC is. And so, as we spoke earlier, Kevin, we know that the game comes with runs, but the ability to get yourself out of a funk during the game, you don't see often, and that's going to be very crucial when it comes down to these games that are very scrappy games, the competitiveness of all the other teams in the ACC, and, just the journey back to March Madness.
NC State ranked 3rd in the country at 12-0. First free throw is missed there by Spearman. Notre Dame is 9-1, 13th. Virginia Tech 9-2, 14th. That's in the Associated Press poll. The Hurricanes 23rd in the coaches poll. South Carolina, #1 team in the country right now. That second free throw hits off the back of the rim and goes in, bounces in. 37-point lead for the Canes. Approaching the halfway point here of the fourth quarter.
Miami was ranked. They broke into the AP press and the AP poll December 11th, and they really haven't looked back. They started at 25, and now they're at 23.
That jumper is good. Nice job by Hall there. She leads Alabama State with 12 points today.
Hall has been the bright spot.
Lattimore to the basket. No good. She gets her own rebound and fouled again. She'll go back to the line for 2.
And now when you look at things, Alabama State has 5 team fouls. So everything is going to be to the basket.
Canes up by 37 here.
Dogfight. And Louisville is 6th in the ACC right now, and Miami is 4th. However, Louisville is ranked 19th in the nation. And so that should be a really, really good game. I'm looking forward to seeing both teams in the beginning of ACC play.
That game will be on ACC Network coming up at 4 o'clock on New Year's Eve, and that one broken up, and the Hurricanes will take it back, trying to break the 70 mark here for the basket, up 69-33 here in the fourth quarter. And the Hurricanes in the bonus the rest of the way.
And at this point, every Hurricane that has checked in has scored.
Stedman pulls up her jumper, no good, and rebound bounces into the hands there of Spearman, who continues to have a fantastic day, now with 14 points, 9 rebounds. Under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, and the Hurricanes approaching a 40-point lead.
Correction. 9 out of the 10 Hurricanes that's checked in has scored.
And Justina Graham checks back in for Alabama State. Also Kamariana Tavares as well. And Hall will check out.
51 points combined for the second and third quarters for the Miami Hurricanes.
12 for Alabama State in those quarters, too. The three-pointer, no good. Taking it back the other way for Miami. That was Hooks that took the 3 for the Hornets.
Miami trying to work the clock, execute a good play, get everyone involved.
And Whitney Dunn with the steal for Alabama State. Nice job there by Williams. Stayed straight up and stripped the ball. Williams to Steadman to Williams for the layup.
That's what you teach in practice. Pass back. You're unselfish. It comes back to you.
And a nice layup there. Nice job in transition. Williams with 10, 40-point lead now for the Hurricanes, approaching 3 minutes to go here in the game.
You know, and if you are Alabama State, you have to try to get yourself prepared for the SWAC conference.
That's right. They start with Mississippi Valley State on January the 6th. That'll begin their conference play. Try and break through the win column. Williams hands that one off. Lattimore with the 2.
You know, if I'm Alabama State's coach, if I'm Coach Jackson, I'm telling my team, let's just win the next 2:30.
Right.
Because, I mean, the game is completely out of reach, a 40-point game, to be able to come back in 2.5 minutes. So,
but to give them credit, though, in the Florida State game, they were down big early, and it was just done fast. Where this one today, they won the first quarter. They won it. They played really well. That one knocked away there. The Hurricanes again with another layup. Williams with the 2. Some subs coming in now for the Hurricanes and for the Hornets. But, you know, you look back at it, yeah, there's not a lot to take. Down 44, but you say, okay, look, we played well the first quarter. Second quarter, we were in. They led for 15 minutes today. That they did, and they just couldn't build that big enough of a lead to hold Miami down, even though Miami can go on a run at any time. But they led for a decent amount of time in this game.
Absolutely. And, Kevin, I'm not big on moral victories, right? Like, I'm not big on the everyone gets a trophy type of thing. But when you look at the adversity that they have faced, 42 points that they have missing from last year and currently from this year, and with key players being out, I think that they stepped up to the challenge and came to the game and really gave it their best effort.
Well, you also mentioned, too, facing Miami, Florida State, DePaul, Auburn, Alabama, that's going to help you for SWAC play, that it's going to help you. And this is a team that last year was 19-10. So, and we know in, you know, men's basketball, women's basketball, that a lot of the lower conferences, they're going to rack up a lot of losses in non-conference play. But then when they get to conference play, things will turn around. That this team will win games when they get to the SWAC.
Absolutely, because they're not going to have the type of talent that they've had with the power conference teams that they've played against.
Final 2 minutes here of the fourth quarter. The Canes in control. Patrick, the kick out there to Steadman. Lattimore pulls up her jumper's good. Lattimore 13 today. Yeah.
Such a pretty shot, such a soft touch for a forward.
Approaching the final minute here, and season high for Lattimore, 13 points. Canes trying to get to 80 if they can get another basket here in the final minute.
I'm sure they will.
And another steal there by Steadman. Nice pass there to Williams. Nice job. Williams again in transition. Steadman waited a half second, let Williams break out, and the Hurricanes able to get to the 80-point mark, now up 81-34.
Yeah, Leah Ferrari Williams is my nickname for her, because you are just not going to catch her in the open court.
And a couple free throws coming up here for Justina Graham. And, hey, look back at it, too. This is the first time since the second quarter Alabama State's going to the free throw line. 2 of 2 from the line so far today.
All credit to Miami.
Yep.
They have clogged up the lane, forced three-point shots, forced 25 turnovers.
And the 2 free throws are good for Graham. And you see that third time, 10-1 record under head coach Katie Meyer. Louisville on deck next for the Canes after a few days off. Steadman misses the 3, and the ball will stay with Miami here Final 21 seconds.
This is the second time Miami has had this much of a lead. That first time with Fordham, the second game of the season, they beat them by almost 40. But now you see up 45 points. Very comfortable game. A little scare for Miami, a little hiccup.
Third time also busting the 80-point mark, too, for the Hurricanes.
But a great job, Miami, taking care of business at home. This matinee game on the holiday break at the Watsco Center.
That one knocked away. It's going to stay with Alabama State with 8.1 seconds left. Got 81 against Jacksonville in the opener, 87 against NJIT back in early December. And also the Hurricanes, their second matchup with Alabama State. Didn't mention this earlier. They won 79-31 back in 2017, so almost a similar score here in this next meeting. Sanders takes to the basket. That one blocked out of bounds. Going to stay with Alabama State.
Well, 5 seconds to go. Miami solidifies their final non-conference game at home.
The inbound there. Graham puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Stedman, and the clock runs out. The Miami Hurricanes, after a slow start, they come back and they beat Alabama State handily, 81-36. Canes improved to 10-1 on the season. Alabama State falls to 0-11. Another win for Katie Meyer and the Canes, as they will head into Sunday's matchup with the Louisville Cardinals at 10-1 to begin ACC play.
I mean, I don't have many of the negative